Hello, it is Marissa at Grow in the Flow, and I'm coming in here for our annual chat about Chiron in retrograde. So, as of today, July 23rd, Chiron has just entered retrograde in the sign of Aries, all in the midst of some incredibly significant and intense cosmic energies. We have the lunar nodes changing signs, the Cancer new moon, the Sun moving into its home sign of Leo, and Venus retrograde, all happening just days before Chiron, the asteroid known as the Wounded Healer, has journeyed into retrograde. So now Chiron is joining in with Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, and now Venus, all in retrograde at this time. And Chiron's going to remain in retrograde through December 26th. So this is going to begin a new cycle of uncovering. And of course, we always remember that when we work with all of these cosmic bodies, retrograde is something that happens annually. So it's just a part of the natural rhythm that we experience each year. So we're being mindful, not fearful. And as we're tuning into these energies and working with them as best as we can, I remind you, I am not an astrologer, I'm an enthusiast. And so here I bring together information coming from many talented astrologers, readers, and creators who have contributed a lot of the information I'm so grateful to have brought together for you today. So today we're going to get a little bit into the origins of Chiron, the Wounded Healer, and how we can best work with these energies. We're going to do a very special Chiron and retrograde spread for our collective energy, where we'll pull some cards and take a look at how we can best flow through this very healing, reflective, and transformational cycle that we are moving through at this time. So here we have Chiron helping us to see our younger parts that can feel stuck or frozen in time. It invites us into self-healing and how to tend to our wounds so as we can see them as places to honor how far we've come rather than feeling victimized. Chiron shows how these wounds can become what we offer to the world to make an impact. So this is really powerful and significant energy for us as we turn the corner this year and really finish out this year with this undercurrent really helping to support lasting healing and change for all of us. So let's talk a little bit about Chiron. Chiron is not technically a planet, it's an asteroid that orbits between Saturn and Uranus. And even though Chiron is not a planet, in astrology, it is a significant cosmic energy to work with. Ancient astrologers often said when a planet entered retrograde, it entered the underworld. And of course, Chiron is very comfortable as it travels through the underworld because it has made peace with its wounds and turned them into portals of strength. We each hold this ability within us, and we end up receiving double support when Chiron's energy is strong. So that's especially now and at the end of retrograde. So at the end of December as well is when it's most potent, but we have this energy to work with for the next many months. And so we can use this energy to acknowledge our healing journeys and to activate the inner healer within. It can be used to accept your wounds and to know that even though some wounds are forever, you can still live a beautiful life. And there's a really beautiful saying from the poet Rumi that is, the wound is where the light enters you. So we're all being invited to take a look at our wounds and whether they are physical scars, physical injuries, physical ailments, or they are emotional, spiritual, mental. That is what is coming to light here when we work with Chiron. And Chiron is often referred to as the wounded healer archetype because it's named after a mythological wise centaur who trained heroes and was accidentally wounded by Hercules with a poisoned arrow. And though he could not completely heal his own pain, he learned so much about medicine that he started a healing temple. So really cool there how through his pain, through his own wounding, he was able to start a healing temple that turned into a service. And so This asteroid is one that points to where our own painful experiences give us training and how we can use that understanding to help others. And so let's take a look here at the Chiron action. Find purpose in your problems. Hard-earned wisdom is now relevant and needed. You don't have to assign causality. You may never know why you went through a difficult time, but you can put what you learned from it to good use. Even if you never quite heal in this place of karmic tenderness, you have the wisdom to pass on once you metabolize the information. I love that. This situation may feel familiar, but if you can't remember a story to go with it, it may be leftover from a past life, a chapter review of what your soul already knows. So sometimes we can't place where these wounds come from in this lifetime. If an old pain is triggered, have compassion for yourself. You are more than your troubles. You are more than your wounding. You know the route through, and now it's time to practice what you know. Once you have a solution, add it to your toolkit. If this situation stretches and tests you, take it as training for the hero within. What you are learning now can be your secret sauce in the future. I love that. And I mean, I'm actively seeing that play out for myself personally through my own healing, through the reflection upon my own wounds. It comes forward in my readings and my healings, an ability to empathize and connect with others. And so that is what Chiron brings forward for us. Now with that comes Chiron's challenge. The situation can set off touchy memories or poke you where it still hurts. Shrapnel can hurt as much coming out as it does going in. Take this opportunity to heal so those old places can transform. And the gift of Chiron is to allow the pain and troubles of the past to become the wisdom and compassion of the present moment. Now, some Chiron reflections came up, which include some journal prompts and some other reflective questions that you could be asking yourself at this time to get you started on connecting in with this energy. Thinking about what pains me the most right now. What are 10 things this pain has taught me? Think of a painful wound from your past. How has this wound inspired you? How can it continue to inspire you moving forward? And then I really like these journal prompts. If my pain could talk, it would want me to know. When I think of my hardships, I am grateful that I am stronger today because. So those are just a few reflective ways that you can connect in with this energy of Chiron over the next many months. I'm going to also be placing this, a photo of those reflections with this post in case you would like to hold on to those. So with that beautiful background about the healing work of Chiron and how this can truly be so transformative in our lives, let's take a look at specifically this retrograde of Chiron in Aries and what we might expect over the coming months. So this is really about wanting us to heal not because it will make us better, but because it's an opportunity for us to learn how to source these wounds that we're reflecting on as these powerful portals of wisdom, knowledge, and power. So as we extract that information and find the gold in the wounds and the pain, we're able to step into a greater and fuller potential. So with this being in the sign of Aries, it's especially amplified because Aries is known as, that headstrong ram. And with Chiron in Aries, we're even more supported to find that strength, confidence, and courage that can arise when we face our wounds, look at them not as pain points, but as points of potential. I love that. So Chiron in Aries reminds us that it's far more beneficial for us to allow our wounds to inspire, motivate, and offer strength, rather than to think of them as something that slows us down or makes us inferior in any way. Wounds are painful, yes, and some wounds, in fact, cut so deep that they never truly leave us. But this is okay, because we don't have to be that neatly wrapped package of perfection in order to lead the best life possible. We can use this energy not to sugarcoat our wounds or to bypass anything, but to recognize that through our struggles, through our suffering, that it often can lead us to the path of our destiny. So we're using this energy to reflect on what we've been taught from our wounds, sitting with them and getting to know them, and really from this heart-centered place, and seeing if it's possible for us to release any judgments and to just sit with it and see what comes up. And as we get a little more comfortable with this, what can we reflect on as those journal prompts? What can we reflect on about what these wounds have taught us, how they've shaped us, and what wisdom they have brought forward for us. So let's take a look now at our spread to tap into our collective energies to see what is coming up for us this cycle. Okay, let's feel into this beautiful Chiron in retrograde spread. So we're tuning into our collective energies here, and we're bringing in the Archangel Metatron healing energy sprays of course, our higher self connection for awareness and intuition. So I'm going to bring that in, while we also balance out the midnight indigo light in the dark for the heavy energies, for the healing through this process of these dark nights of the soul or aspects of shadow work. And then the sunrise, new dawn, which is bringing in the new energy, this opportunity for new beginnings, for shining through our wounds, our unique light. So we bring these two in to be supported by our higher selves as we ask for the guidance and healing energy that we can embrace throughout this Chiron in retrograde season. So here we are with the absolutely beautiful Transient Light Tarot by Ari Weisner. I used this deck last year for Chiron retrograde, and the messages did not disappoint. They were really beautiful, very healing. So this is the deck that I will also use for your personal Chiron in retrograde spread. If you would like to book one with me, I have that available now as a special offer on my summer and seasonal specials link that I will be providing with the video. So the first position is tuning into an aspect of our inner child that's coming forward to be healed, an aspect of our inner child coming forward to be healed throughout this Chiron retrograde season. First card coming forward. Ace of Coins. Okay, starting out with an ace. Moving into the second position, first steps to begin healing myself. First steps to begin healing myself. Guidance for those first steps coming in with position 2. Seven of Vessels. Beautiful. Okay. Decisions and choice. Position 3, the light and growth that are shining through my wounds. So what wisdom, light, and growth are shining through? You kind of get to feel into this energy on this end of the spread. There's so much healing, light, growth, and then wisdom coming through. So let's see what's coming here for position 3. The 3 of Swords. Beautiful transformation through the pain. Love that. And then finally, this 4th card, a pearl of wisdom cultivated from my pain. So again, positions 3 and 4 are giving us that sunrise, new dawn energy, that silver lining, the rainbow after the storm of understanding, coming through these wounds and moving through the healing steps. Here we have the 4th position, a pearl of wisdom cultivated from my pain. And I love that because pearls, of course, are formed over time through grit and irritation. It's a process and not always a pleasant one. So what are those pearls of wisdom coming forward for us collectively that have been cultivated from the pain? Beautiful. Champion of Vessels. All right, we are going to unpack this energy here on the other side. So let's check out this beautiful collective spread that has come forward. So here we start with position number 1, an aspect of my inner child coming forward to be healed. And we have this beautiful Ace of Coins. So of course the coins or pentacles are in fact referring to our roots, our foundations, our families, our bloodlines, where we come from. And here we see this seed, this message that is coming in here as a new beginning that we can embrace with our inner child. It's being presented to us, coming forward in the name of great healing, with tremendous opportunity for us to really plant something new and to nurture something new that we are growing into the future. And when I look here at the interpretations from this beautiful Transient Light Tarot, this Ace of Coins is coming forward as a secret garden that's waiting to be unlocked and claimed, saying that opportunities are coming forward to manifest your purpose. So take them, right? So I love that secret garden reference because it's definitely feeling the inner child connection to perhaps some fantastical places that live in our imagination, or, as really accessing some of those memories from our childhood and thinking of perhaps a most pleasant memory, a happy memory, and one that can really help us to connect with our inner child, knowing that there is joy, there is light, despite whatever wounds or painful aspects, memories that are coming forward, that we can put some roots down in the knowing that we are definitely always going to be connected and having that origin of coming from our roots, our family lines, yes, our ancestral traumas and challenges that we bring forward, but also there are great gifts and wisdom that we bring forward from our roots. And so recognizing that, it's all a part of what has created this most fertile ground for us to begin planting these new seeds. And there's been a lot of focus on, what am I nurturing? And talking about, we don't feed the weeds, right? We don't want to perpetuate and continue to replay over some of those aspects from our past that maybe our inner child is still hanging on to out of a belief that it must in order to feel safe. That by embracing our inner child, and I'm feeling this connection to these seeds of joy, again, spending some time reflecting and contemplating the joyful moments, the happy moments, the light moments, and bringing forward with you that, when you open those doors into that secret garden, really deciding what may reside here, what am I planting here, what am I going to nurture and foster to grow as we move forward. Beautiful energy. So now the position coming up next is number 2, which is first steps to begin healing myself. And very appropriately, we have at least 50% of our spread here coming from the vessels, the cups, because we are in the heart. We're talking about the heart chakra. We're talking about heart healing. And the 7 of vessels or cups is denoting choice and contemplation and, being able to dream and imagine the possibilities. So where do we begin? It can feel a little bit overwhelming, right? There's these 7 vessels in front of us and we are deciding what we're going to choose, and we don't always get to know what is inside each one. There's a sense of trying to get clarity and really connect in with where to go first, right? So we were talking about these first steps to begin healing ourselves. And this is presenting us with a number of choices. And, we have our dreams, our aspirations, but also we could be feeling like we've gotten a little bit distracted or drawn into something that is about others, people outside of us. Remember, in combination with Chiron retrograde. We have most recently the Venus retrograde coming in here to really shine a light on our relationships, to look at how we relate to relationships, and whether we've potentially been getting kind of lost in other people's lives, other people's stuff, other people's expectations, and all in the name of maybe even avoiding dealing with our own feelings. So there's this first step to just close your eyes and take a moment to really ponder within, to go inside and then visualize, what there may be within this secret garden, right, that we're being invited into. And maybe even do a little visualization with that beautiful Ace of Coins, and imagine opening up those iron doors and stepping into those gates, stepping into that garden. What is there? And when you close your eyes, what do you see? We're disconnecting from other. We're disconnecting from external, anything that's telling us what we should be doing, could be doing, would be doing, right? And actually embracing in what we're dreaming of, right? And to dream fearlessly, act wisely, and approach with caution, right? When we are choosing from different vessels, because we understand that, when we go into this deep healing, when we bring up these things, certainly we're aware that we are going to be moving through the feels and the emotions that come forward. And that is what this water element of the vessels is all about, right? We have to feel it to heal it. So we're allowing it to flow. But first step, really connecting in with yourself and seeing, the greatest imagination of what lies beyond inside this beautiful secret garden. Now, the third position is highlighting the light and growth that is shining through my wounds. And I will talk about the beautiful quote from Rumi that says that the wound is where the light enters you. So how perfect that the Three of Swords has come forward when it is about this piercing, this cutting into the heart energy of this pain and wounding that has occurred. And yet we see this amazing transformation that has come through with this butterfly. And the butterfly is so much bigger and grander and more beautiful than any of those swords ever could have been. And yet they were the facilitator of that great change and transformation in our life. So, each of those swords could represent being that takes us into the crown chakra, into the head, into these memories, these beliefs that we're being called upon to sort of one by one pull one sword out at a time as we're contemplating. And I love that these swords have that eye there that is representing to me the third eye, your wise self, an intuitive self who's approaching anew these wounds, coming back around to view them now through this lens of higher self, my wise self. Also, I'm objective. I'm just allowing myself to observe how these wounds that have inflicted me have actually healed into or are healing into beautiful light and growth that is shining through. And so, of course, this energy brings forward a lot of vulnerability, and it speaks to your beautiful heart being pierced threefold by the sting of these sudden truths, right? If these swords represent our thoughts, these beliefs, or even things being exposed for what they are and not what we expected, and dealing with the residual disappointment, pain, anguish, anything that has come forward through that process. And whether that is things that never were in our life, unrequited love, the betrayal of trust, whatever hit you have taken, these wounds come forward to be seen, to be validated, right? To be allowed to heal, release, integrate, however they're presenting themselves to you. And so, yes, time is a great healer, but also now we have this opportunity to sort of gently initiate these steps toward extracting these swords, right? And in this way, be transformed and newly equipped with the very swords that once harmed you. How beautiful is that? The very swords that harmed us, right? The source of these wounds actually become, this is the message of Chiron, they become your greatest source of wisdom, strength, and healing. Beautiful energy. finally, the fourth card is bringing us into this pearl of wisdom that has been cultivated from my pain. And I love this one crow perched upon this backpack, but you can see there's a lot of pearls. Look out there in the distance at all those other crows representing this crow bringing in change, expression of freedom and expansion into the new. And it's the champion of vessels. So again, the cups, the heart chakra. And the champion of vessels represents the lovely, lovely Knight of Cups. I love the Knight of Cups energy. So soft, loving, absolutely amplifying that heart chakra energy. And it's from the heart that this pearl has been cultivated. Like I said, I always think about how pearls are formed through grit, through irritation, and they take a long time to materialize, but they can come forth from the greatest challenges, the harshest of pain, to become the most precious of pearls. And so this champion of vessels brings the heart forward as the leader, right? So on this journey, and this gives me such Fool energy. I love the knapsack. It reminds me of the Fool, and it brings me back to messages I was sharing yesterday with Moonlight Soul when we were talking about these retrogrades, and we got this rest and reconsider. It was the Nine of Wands, but it was a person who had just kind of hunkered down in a cave with their backpack, and they took it off, and it's just sort of they're exhaling into this moment to pause, this moment to rest and reconsider. What all is packed in that bag? What am I still bringing with me? And what am I going to release now and let go? So it's this contemplative moment that also brings in a bit of, hesitation. The heart knows what it wants, but it's sensitive to these challenges that it's had to face in order to find it, right? We're protective. There's understandably so some patterns and beliefs and ways of being that have been put into place in an effort to keep us safe, that we now have this opportunity to recognize perhaps we don't need anymore. We can take that heavy satchel off. We can rest and let that just set down for a moment and reflect. So this champion has paused at a river that's dividing them from the prize. What's lying between them and the prize? This beautiful river of flowing water emotion, right? So it has us reflecting on whether we have been hesitating or if we're going to really take this opportunity as a healthy step back to prepare, right? Test the waters, gently ease your heart into this cool stream. Yes, protect its vulnerability and foster bravery, but the wisdom is to know that you already have everything that you need, these beautiful tools that you have picked up along the way, that we have an opportunity to really sit with here for a moment, reflect upon, and prepare to venture into the new. And it truly is so beautiful and so tremendously healing. So here, as we look at this beautiful spread that has come forward for us collectively, you can, again, book with me to have your personal Chiron in retrograde spread, where we will go even deeper. We will pull another 4 cards just for you with these positions from this spread, and we will compare that to these 4 cards that came up with the collective energies and be able to really feel into all 8 of those cards and see how they're coming forward just specifically for you. So if you're interested in having a Chiron in retrograde reading, please do reach out. This is something I'll be offering for a time as we navigate through these energies. So here we have some beautiful reminders of Chiron retrograde, all about diving into the wound rather than seeking the cure, to focus on our healing rather than trying to fix others. Notice people or situations where you self-abandon, and perhaps receive Reiki, energy healing, get a massage or chiropractic session, things you can do to support yourself energetically by tending to your foundation. Now in the middle, we see not all pain heals with time. And the hourglass brings to mind the beautiful symbol on the deck of cards we used today, the Transient Light Tarot. Inside the box, it says these beautiful words: "Come, sit in the present, nestled in the neck of an hourglass, the future overhead, the past below. Reach out your cupped hands into the stream of falling sand, simultaneously receiving, holding, and letting go with gratitude as the golden thread of time spools and spills through your fingers. So again, tending to our wounds, being present with what is, and remaining the observer as much as we can in order to access that wise part of ourselves, our higher self. And so as we see our wounds as portals of wisdom, we see that, some wounds are forever, and that's okay. We can activate our inner healer. We can see the gifts of our wounds, and we can use that wisdom to guide others. Most importantly, honor your healing and growth work and celebrate how far you've come. Now, lastly, today we're going to take a look at some of these altar elements that I brought forward to talk about some of the symbols that I've been seeing, the spiritual breadcrumbs that have been falling for me. If you've ever had a color healing with me, oftentimes some of these symbols will come forward, starting with this beautiful crystal that we see here on the altar that is ibis jasper. Now, ibis jasper is a crystal that carries a vibration very similar to the beautiful symbolism of the Japanese art of kintsugi, which we'll be talking about next. Ibis jasper is an ally on our journey to greater wholeness. It helps us peel away, heal, forgive, and let go of what isn't so that we can be more of what is. Listen to the repetitive messages. Look for the hidden meaning. Observe how the universe rises up to meet you. Ibis means I be, I is. Know it. You are love. All we know is that in order to grow and evolve beyond our current circumstances, we have to face, heal, forgive, and integrate the shadows caused by the human experience with as much love as we can muster. Love heals. Love slips into the cracks of our being and makes us whole again. We won't be the same as before, but we aren't supposed to be the same as before. We're supposed to grow out from the places that have left the seeming void within us. The vessel, the contents, and the observer are one, and we are. And that was 3 chimes we got on the Apple Watch, so it's affirmed. We are. Now, if you are familiar with this ancient Japanese art of kintsugi, it's a beautiful metaphor for embracing your flaws and imperfections. So as we cover this part, I just want you to feel into your root chakra, your base, and connect in. Feel yourself grounded. Be aware of your surroundings and know that you are safe. And tune into your heart chakra as whatever wounds come to mind for you as we talk about this, really holding space for that. Now, this is an ancient art that is about embracing flaws and imperfections so that you can create an even stronger and more beautiful piece of art. So each break is unique, and instead of repairing an item like new, this 400-plus-year-old technique actually highlights the scars as a part of the design. And so when we use this as a metaphor for healing ourselves, it teaches an important lesson. Sometimes, in the process of repairing things that have broken, we actually create something more unique, beautiful, and resilient. Now, of course, gold is highly visible. That paint that's on these pieces of pottery, they become transformed into a new piece of art with new beauty emerging from those reconfigured, shattered pieces. And it was never considered broken, as at its essence, it remains intact. But it has been transformed by the experience, richer for the experience. In its imperfection, it is perfection. The gold is like the wisdom gained. A new masterpiece is created. The ceramic is just like us. It's strong, fragile, and beautiful. We too are strong, fragile and beautiful. Life happens. Things change. Hearts break. The light enters through the crack and we heal. We transform ourselves to be richer and wiser from this experience. Hearts open, compassion flows. We discover resilience. And as I mentioned, Rumi once said, the wound is the place where the light enters you. And Kintsugi teaches us that we too can be fragile and vulnerable. We can break, yet we can heal and allow the gold, the nugget, the wisdom of the experience to transform us into more beautiful human beings. The crack which lets the light in makes us stronger, greater, more compassionate, and more beautiful people. And that is an absolutely beautiful way to look at wounds, things in need of healing, and to bring in acceptance, to be happy with life's imperfections. The path of recovery can start the moment you embrace life's flaws and issues. The beautiful art of Kintsugi. So thank you once again for coming with me on this journey through healing, through acceptance, through gleaning insight, wisdom, and guidance as we empower ourselves to move forward into the highest and best versions of us. So lastly, once again, this beautiful quote summarizes for me the transformative and healing energies that are available to us at this time. I put my pieces back so beautifully that I can't help but thank all of the people who broke me apart. Beautiful. So now we turn to what is coming forward, and Grow in the Flow is turning 3. It is also my birthday month in August, so I'm so excited to celebrate with a giveaway and other goodies throughout the month. So the way to get in on all of this is to check out some of my offerings coming up in August. We have the Empowerment Pack. This is my favorite and best offering where you and I work together throughout the month with a series of readings to help guide you through the month with the energies coming forward through the moon cycles. And this month is extra special because we have 3 moons coming up, with a full moon in Aquarius, new moon in Leo, and then a blue moon in Pisces at the end of the month. So we're going to do something really special. This is an amazing month for you to jump on board and check out Empowered Tarot. If you would just like a single reading, then you can check out the Hello Empowerment reading. And this is a reading we can do any 3-card plus spread. There's always extra goodies in there. But if you have a specific question or intention or area that you want to take a look at, we do a reading on that. Or you can use this reading as just one month ahead energy reading for you. Take a look at what's coming up for you beginning, middle, and end of the month, or with either of the moon cycles, or any, again, specific area that you would like to explore more deeply. So thank you all once again. I so appreciate you checking out my offerings, and thank you so much always for your support, for your feedback. I love to hear how the messages may be resonating for you, and I appreciate each and every one of you for 3 years slowly stepping out of my comfort zone and embracing this passion that I love so much. And so you are all an absolute integral part of that. So thank you so much for your likes, for your shares, for subscribing to my channel, for carrying the message forward. For anyone who might like to join in, I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm sending you all so much love and many blessings. Till next time.